50% of employees in the US are actually motivated for their jobs. That means that in your workspace, only 1 out of 7 people have the motivation to get them working. This might not sound like a big deal for you, but motivation is much more important than you think. Motivation plays such a big role in achieving your dreams that we cannot pass by without talking about it. So, what exactly is motivation? Motivation is a driving force inside you that makes you want to do a certain thing. Motivation is like the gear in your automobile. In my talk today, I hope that you can get a basic understanding of what the 2 types of motivation are and how useful motivation can be in your life. The 2 types of motivation are intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. First is intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is where you get incentive to do something because of your internal thoughts, not other people's thoughts. You do things for your satisfaction. The some features of intrinsic motivation are curiosity, interest, acceptance, and power. One simple example of intrinsic motivation might be that you go for a run every day because you feel refreshed and energized every time you do it. Next is extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is where you perform tasks because of the external environment. You do things to satisfy others, such as your parents or your peers. Some features of extrinsic motivation are awards, family, and team. Money is a common extrinsic motivation. A person might go to their job every day instead of doing something that they love, just for a paycheck that will keep their lifestyle stable. This person is extrinsically motivated by money. Another simple example of extrinsic motivation might be that a person goes for a run every day because their family is pressuring them to get some exercise. Now, let me introduce you to my 2 beloved friends. I'm going to call them friend A and friend B so that I can address them easier. I've been friends with friend A for about 2 years and we've spent a lot of time together. We used to attend the same math class, and math class would be twice as fun when it did with her. But we were fierce competitors too. We always wanted to get ahead of each other in our math progress. One day, she showed up to math class with 20 extra pages of her math book solved. At that moment, I was really annoyed, but at the same time, I was so fascinated about how fast and great she can work when she had an actual motivation. This small occurrence was actually how I got interested in the topic of motivation and chose it as the topic of my TEDx speech. Here is the question I want to ask you. Did she use intrinsic motivation or extrinsic motivation? She used extrinsic motivation. She got extrinsically motivated because she wanted to get the external reward of beating me in her math progress. Hold on, I could have just continued on my speech there, but let's dig in a little bit farther. After all, that is how the great information in this world gets discovered, isn't it? So, when we said that she was using extrinsic motivation, there are more questions that can be asked. So, did she truly like maths after all? Or was it just pure pressure and her determination to win others? Was there any intrinsic motivation that was mixed in with the extrinsic motivation? Did she gain any extra interest in maths while she was solving those 20 pages? These are all questions that only my friend knows the answer to, but it does bring this example to another level of thinking. Moving on. Friend B loves doing art. I'm sure a lot of you in here have at least a little bit of interest in the world of art. She loves creating artwork, whether it is a picture of an anime character or a handmade drawing and a model of an animal. I noticed that she won a few artworks from the school competitions, but I don't think that was what her intention that she does art because she feels peace every time she does it, and she's loved to do it since she was young. So, what motivation is this? Was it intrinsic motivation or extrinsic motivation? I would label this as intrinsic motivation. She does art because of her satisfaction and her interest. Of these two examples, which one sounds more suitable for your situation? There's no right or wrong, no matter which answer you choose. Because you know that they're both very effective. They both have great advantages and disadvantages. That is why it is the best when we know how to use them from each side of the spectrum. It's like asking, do you like your mom or your dad? To that question, my answer is always the same. I love them both. That is why you should know how to use them from each side of the spectrum and pick a different answer for each situation. Now, I want to introduce you to a study that will provide you with another tip of how you can spark motivation inside yourself. There was once a study by Professor Claudia N. Mueller, where she took a group of students and gave them sets of puzzles to solve. No matter how well they did, they were scored with full points and told that they did better than the rest. But here's the thing. Half of the students were told that they did the best because they worked hard. The other half of the students were told that they did well because they were smart and gifted. After that, the students were given 3 more puzzles to solve with different difficulties: easy, medium, and hard. Here's where the study got interesting. The worked hard group attempted to solve actually harder puzzles and spent a lot of time working on the puzzles overall. Moreover, they said that the exercise was very fun for them. However, it was the complete opposite case for the smart and gifted group. They only attempted to solve the easier puzzles and spent less time working on the puzzles overall because they lost motivation. Also, when they were asked if the exercise was fun for them, they said, not really. So what does this study show? This study proves the locus of control rule. The locus of control rule is the state of how much you believe you have control over your life. The students that were told that they were smart and gifted had an external locus of control and saw that everything around them is what affected their outcomes. They are held with the idea that they do not have control over what happens to them because they were told that they were born smart. This is what leads them to stop working hard, because why would you try when the external environment is against you? On the other hand, the worked hard group knew that it was their action and hard work which resulted in the positive outcome. Previous studies like the study by Professor Mueller showed that having a internal locus control is the best way to stay motivated. So, if you ever have a bad day or just want to give up, tell yourself that you are the one in control. Steve Harvey once said this, pointing to his head. You are in control of this. This belongs to you. This is yours. You're the captain, you're the master, you're the foreman, you're the general, and you're the head over this. Don't give control of this to nobody. This is a key to staying motivated. Everybody here is probably struggling with diverse things in life, whether it is about your family, your friends, your grades, your schoolwork, or just trying to figure out your dream. I noticed that as I grow older, even though I'm only 13 years old, more things start to look like a problem in my perspective. And these were things that never concerned me before in my life. So, every time you're struggling to find the correct aim for your work, try to remind yourself of the things that I told you today. Try picking in between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Know that you are in control of your life. You're the only one who can choose the best motivation for yourself and strategize the most way to use that motivation. You're the captain, master, foreman, general, and the head over this. I believe in all of you and I wish you the best. Thank you.